It was one of those mornings where the city felt alive but cruel all at once. The sun barely peeked over the horizon, casting long shadows on cracked sidewalks, and the smell of burnt coffee and exhaust hung heavy in the air. Johnny J. Miller trudged down the street, hoodie pulled up, headphones blasting old-school rap that made the world fade away. Life had been grinding him down lately, hitting him with bills he couldn't pay and opportunities that vanished before he could grab them. He'd been hustling hard, stacking late-night shifts and small gigs, but it never seemed enough. Jay had always believed in doing things the hard way, earning every penny, grinding every hour, but desperation had a way of whispering sweet lies when you were down. That morning it was loud, insistent, and dangerous. He ran into Trey, a buddy from back in the day who had always walked a line that most people feared to cross. Trey leaned on his beat-up Camaro, smirk in place, cigarette dangling. "Yo, Jay," he said, voice smooth like honey dripping over broken glass. "I got something for you. Quick money. No grind. You in?" Jay laughed low and bitter. "Man, easy money usually comes with handcuffs. You know that." Trey shrugged like it was no big deal. Nah. This one's clean. You just bend the rules a bit. No one gets hurt, trust me." There it was. The pull of temptation. The kind you feel in your bones before your brain can even warn you. Jay felt the static buzz in his chest, half thrill, half dread. He'd seen what shortcuts did to people he knew. Cousins, neighbors, even a few friends had tried taking the easy way, and it ended in disaster. But the thought of catching a break, of finally getting ahead, made him swallow that warning and nod. By noon, Jay had taken the bait. The first few days felt like a dream. Cash flowed in faster than the subway trains that were always late. His apartment got spruced up, and even his old clunker got replaced with something that gleamed in the sunlight, making him feel untouchable. People noticed. They said he looked different, sharper. Even Jay felt like a king walking through streets that had once felt like a cage. But like every shortcut worth anything, the cost was hidden in the shadows. At first it was small things. A neighbor giving him a strange look. A friend calling and hesitating before saying hi. That gnawing feeling in his gut he tried to ignore. He chalked it up to paranoia, told himself he was imagining it. He kept grinding, kept chasing the high of the money, the power, the sense of finally winning, and that's when the cracks started to show. Began with small mistakes, forgetting to cover tracks, missing details, thinking he could handle it all. Trey's easy charm couldn't fix what was coming. One evening, a man in a dark jacket appeared outside Jay's building, lingering like he owned the sidewalk. Jay froze, trying to convince himself it was coincidence, but his heart pounded like a drum. He knew the game he was playing. Shortcuts always catch up, always. Soon the consequences got heavier. The money that had come so easy started bringing attention he didn't want. People he didn't know were asking questions. Phones that used to ring with opportunities now buzzed with threats and warnings. The apartment that felt like a castle started feeling like a cage. Every knock on the door, every honk outside made his skin crawl. Jay tried to keep it together, tried to convince himself he could walk it back. But the deeper he got, the more he realized there was no walking back. Friends started drifting away. Some whispered behind his back. Others confronted him straight up, asking how he'd gotten that new ride. That cash, that sudden glow of confidence. Jay faked stories, lies that stacked higher than his bills ever did. But lies are heavy. They weigh you down in ways money never could. Every time he told one, he felt a little piece of himself slip. He couldn't sleep, couldn't focus, couldn't stop thinking about what he'd done. And then it hit him full force. The cops came one night. Quiet, precise, the kind that made your blood run cold. Trey was gone. Vanished like smoke, leaving Jay to deal with the fallout. The clean deal wasn't clean at all. Jay had crossed lines he didn't even see, laws he didn't understand, and suddenly, the world he'd built out of shortcuts crumbled. His apartment got raided, his car impounded, every shiny thing ripped away. The people he thought he could trust? They weren't around. The money that felt like freedom? Tainted, gone, and dangerous. Sitting on the cold steps of his building, hood pulled over his head, Jay felt the weight of every decision he'd made. The shortcut, he thought, would lift him out of struggle had dropped him straight into a pit. Every choice, every ignored warning, every bit of temptation had its price, and he'd paid it in full. It wasn't just money or possessions. It was trust, reputation, relationships. His friends looked at him differently. His family was disappointed, and worst of all, he couldn't even face himself in the mirror. He'd traded integrity for instant gratification and lost everything that mattered. But that night, as he sat in the dark, he realized one thing. Mistakes can't be erased, but lessons can be learned. He thought about the slow grind he used to respect, the long hours and hard work that actually built something real. He thought about the people who had struggled around him and come out stronger because they didn't chase shortcuts. Jay understood that he had a choice moving forward: keep spiraling or start rebuilding, even if it meant starting from zero. The path ahead was grim, filled with hard work and patience. No easy wins, no fast cash, just the long road back brick by brick. And though it scared him, it also gave him a strange sense of clarity. He knew now what mattered, what didn't, and how quickly the illusion of success could crumble if it was built on lies and shortcuts. Days turned into weeks. Jay found a small job at a local garage, doing grunt work for minimum wage, but it felt honest. Every drop of sweat was a reminder that he could rebuild bit by bit. He started apologizing to friends he'd alienated, mending bridges, taking responsibility for the chaos he'd caused. Every step was hard, every move slow, but it was real. For the first time in a long time, he felt grounded. He never saw Trey again. Some days he thought about how easy it would have been to follow that old path again, to chase fast cash and forget the lessons, but every time he did, he felt the chill in his chest, the same warning he'd ignored too long. That chill kept him honest. That chill reminded him that shortcuts come at a cost, and the price isn't always negotiable. By the end of the year, Jay had a small apartment, a beat-up but reliable car, and a paycheck that barely covered his bills. But he had something else: respect, self-worth, and the knowledge that hard work, though slow and grueling, doesn't betray you. He had learned the hardest lesson of all. The shortcuts that promise everything often leave you with nothing. And sometimes, the only way forward is the long, honest, exhausting road. The city still buzzed, still smelled of burnt coffee and exhaust. But this time Jay felt part of it rather than crushed by it. He walked those streets with careful steps, eyes open, mind aware, knowing that the life he wanted wouldn't come in a quick fix. It would come in sweat, patience, and the slow building of trust and respect. That was the real win, the one no shortcut could ever take away.